Hello, everybody. So today I will be a professional hater. Actually, me and my cat, we are we are going to be professional haters today because I am going to be presenting to you all the books that I hated last year. So I've noticed that every time I talk about a book that I hated, usually a book that is like a little bit TikTok famous, I get some thumbs down. And that's fine because you're entitled to your opinion and I'm entitled to mine. But you know what? This year has taught me it's fine to be a professional hater because Kendrick Lamar became one. And you know what that got him? 5 Grammys.
Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles.
So I will be presenting all the books that I hated this year. But not only am I going to be hating on those books, I will also be trying to recommend those books to a certain group of people that I think would have fun with the books so that you'll gain something out of it. Yeah, let's start. So I have my Goodreads reading list of 2024 pulled up on my laptop. Also, I've looked through it, obviously, to find the books that I hated last year. And I realized that I don't own one single physical copy of the books that I hated last year. So I actually made some great choices by not buying the books at full price, but rather buying them at ebook or audio price. So that's a plus for me. Let's start with the first horrendous book that I hated. It was True Blood, one by Charlaine Harris, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you know True Blood, the show. But my sister and I, we decided for whatever reason that it would be an awesome idea to read the book, which it wasn't. The book is about a woman who works at a restaurant, a bar, a cafe. I don't know. No, she works at night, so it's probably not a cafe. And a vampire moves to their town, to the small town, and she falls in love with him. I don't know. She tries to come closer to him to find out whatever. She's definitely not afraid. This is a hard one to recommend. The book was very racist. So, I mean, it was released in 2001 or 1995. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. But it was released back in the day. Still not an excuse to kind of be racist. The book also was very stupid. I think, who would I recommend this book to? If you would like to read a vampire story with just vibes, but the vibes are, well, as if you're stuck in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you don't care about political correctness, but also, yeah, you want to read about a love story. You know what? I feel like people who read like hardcore smut, even though I don't think the book is smutty, but like for the romance, people who would read a book that like a mafia romance, but not for the smut. If that's your vibe, I think this book would suit you. So go for it. I didn't enjoy it, but maybe you do. Okay, so let's go on to the next book, which was It Ends With Us. I mean, this book fits very well to last year because the whole shit that is actually currently going down with Blake Lively and Justin Baldioni. I don't know what his name is. But yeah, the book was just as much of a shit show as the movie. Also, by the way, I've seen the video from Jack Edwards on this topic, and he hated It Starts With Us. But I liked It Starts With Us better than It Ends With Us. I've also read it last year. But It Ends With Us is a story about Lily Blossom Bloom, who has a flower shop. And yeah, that I think that already tells you a lot about the book. But yeah, it's about her domestic violence. And I love how nobody in the book, even though they pretend to be her best friends and whatever, seems to care one single bit about Lily, because even though the sister of the guy she's dating, who is hitting her, knows, she doesn't tell her, and she is supposedly her best friend. But also, I feel like it's super, like, it should even get a reward for how much lack of common sense everybody in this book has, because how the book ends is just tragic, and not even because of the abuse, but because of the story. I'm not a Colleen Hoover fan. I mean, who is? But I mean, the book, I think it has like an average rating of 4 point something stars on Goodreads. So a lot of people are a fan of her. I feel she is just like very hated in the like book community of people who talk about books. But I think the mainstream is really helping her, because a lot of people read her books and like them. Which fair enough. I don't know if it's fair enough, but yeah, whatever. So who would I recommend It Ends With Us to? I know a lot of people love the book. Really anybody who doesn't read a lot of books, or maybe like anybody who hasn't read like any of the very famous TikTok romances and likes a drama-driven romance book, and they don't care for anything else. Yeah, and like they don't care for story, just for the romance, which I also sometimes do, so I get it. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite book. I've heard that Colleen Hoover retires now from writing because of the whole shit show of It Ends With Us movie, which I don't believe. I really don't think so. Because also Verity is getting a movie now, which Verity was better. But and I think that this Verity will overshadow anything that happened, and Colleen Hoover will get back to her laptop again and write a book that everybody's going to hate. Olaf, maybe it's getting a 4 point something Goodreads rating on average as well, which, fair enough, she got her check and she's making tons of money while everybody's hating her, so I don't think she cares. She's probably laughing in her mansion at all of us. So yeah, next book, oh my god, this one is so bad. It's called Time Is a Mother by Ocean Vuong, and it is a poetry, I don't even know if it's a poetry collection or if it is a like coherent poetry story. Maybe I'm just dumb, and honestly at this point that could very well be it. But well, I'm also not a big fan of poetry, even though like I've read books like The Poet X last year, and it was a very good book. I think the book talked about the main, well, there isn't a protagonist, but like then basically probably Ocean Vuong fucking their own mother or father. I can't remember because I tried to block that out of my brain. But as I said, it could very potentially be that I just don't get the meaning behind some of it. And it could be a metaphor for something. If you like that, I don't know how am I supposed to recommend this book to anyone right now? Well, probably people who take poetry very seriously, who like poems that are weird, sexually loaded. Is that the right word? I don't think so. And people who, yeah, that's it. I don't know. This is a hard one to recommend. So let's move on to the next one. It's The Air Affair by Jasper Ford. It is a book about a woman who, you know what, it's so hard to describe those books because I kind of deleted them from my memory because they were just that bad. But it is a book about a woman who is in this world where fictional characters can travel outside of their books. And they can change something in the real world. Stuff like that, something like that. It's a mystery, like a cozy mystery, I would say. I also didn't like the writing style because it's written a little bit in an older way and it's super hard to follow along. And it was just so boring. I would recommend this book to anybody who likes mystery. That's the first thing. But not a mystery that requires for you to think a lot. So maybe if you would love to read a mystery, but you don't want to find out what's happening in the mystery, so you just are there for the vibes as well. So yeah, that's who I would recommend it to. Somebody who loves mystery, but just doesn't feel like reading a full-on mystery where they have to engage their brain powers, but just, getting taken by the book and the story along the way. That's that. The next book is The Reappearance of Rachel Price, by Holly Jackson. That book is about a girl who tries to solve. No, this book is about a docuseries. No, this book is about a girl, whose mom left them, and no, didn't leave them. She disappeared. And then she reappears while they're filming a documentary on her case, and it's the weirdest thing ever. Because when I went into this book, I was like, firstly, when does the mom reappear? Secondly, when she reappears, wouldn't the whole mystery be unveiled because she can just tell what happened to her? And this is exactly what doesn't happen, but for no good and apparent reason. Because she could have just been come back and been like, yeah, this and this and this happened, but she doesn't. And I mean, yes, it's explained why she doesn't, but it doesn't make any good sense. Also, very predictable. And just not my kind of vibe. I would say, you know who I can recommend this to? Because I really loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I hated Five Survive. So I think if you liked Five Survive, you might enjoy The Reappearance of Rachel Price, because I feel like they both let me down equally. And because it's both by Holly Jackson, I think there might be a good chance if you loved Five Survive, you would love The Reappearance of Rachel Price. So that's for you guys. So this one was also one that Jake Edwards hated, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which this book Oh my god, where do I start? It is a book about a woman who inherits a cafe in this small, cozy, lovely town. Of course, and there's a very, very slight mystery and a love story with low stakes. Everything is very low stakes. Everything is so cozy. A little too cozy for my liking. I love cozy books. I love the cozy season. But you know, sometimes it like feels forced, like the coziness just feels forced, like you can't force something like coziness, but whatever. So, and this woman falls in love, and this guy has commitment issues and trust issues and whatever. And it just feels like a Hallmark movie in a book. And now you think, I love Hallmark movies. Yes, okay. I do too, occasionally on a winter evening. But do you really want to read a Hallmark movie? Like, do you need every single detail of their lives, like also behind closed doors? I didn't need to know any of that. So yeah, if you would really enjoy to read a Hallmark movie, also it's nothing like Gilmore Girls. Don't even pick it up if you think it's like Gilmore Girls. No, it's not. It tries to be, it really tries to be, but it's a Hallmark version of Gilmore Girls. And if you would like to read that in literature, pick this book up because you are going to have a great time. Then I have a book that I hated but equally enjoyed. So it's the Avery Shaw Experiment. I really, I enjoyed reading it to hate it because it's a YA love story about a girl who has anxiety, and her love interest that we're supposed to also fall in love with, I guess, brings her into situations that just worsen her anxiety. And that's just awesome, right? The book is cringe, weird. If you would like to read a book that you would have loved to read when you were 13 years old and thought that this, when you're 13 and you think like those cringe love stories and movies and whatever are good, that's the audience. I don't know if that was English what I just said, but that's the audience. Yeah, and that's it. I also have a German book, which was about a school shooting, but I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, to be honest, because it was not very sensitive on that topic. So yeah, we'll just leave that one out. But yeah, that's it for all the books I hated last year and who I would actually recommend those to. So yeah, I guess leave me a comment and tell me if you love those books or if you just hated them as equally as I did. And if you would like to also get a video of the book that I loved last year, also tell me, please. And yeah, that's it for the video. Please give me a like or a dislike if you're not at all agreeing with me, and subscribe to the channel for the next video. So yeah, we'll see each other then. Bye bye.